Well, we're still very much picking up the pieces after the July unrest that hit Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. And businesses that were affected by the unrest should stay and rebuild, especially now that there is aid. That is the message from Business Unity South Africa. This after Treasury gave the state-owned insurer Sasria close to 4 billion rand to help settle insurance claims.
I think compliments must be given to this ANC-led government. One, because they have given this package of almost 4 billion to Sasria, a state-owned entity, the only one, by the way. There are very few, if any, anywhere else in the world. But number two, for saying even those small and medium enterprises that are not insured, here's a package where we want you to rebuild so that you can continue to create jobs and therefore stimulate economic growth. Lastly, we are saying it's human nature. You know, when we have been collectively traumatized, like we have been as a people, especially around the 19th of July, those 2 weeks in July, and we have caused so much destruction and mayhem and general fear. When you are paid out as a small and medium enterprise, 10 million rand, some 30 million rand, it's easy for you to say, am I going to go through the same pain again in the same uncertainty, especially because both the systemic and systematic events that led to this rampant looting have not been fundamentally addressed. Maybe let me take the money and run. We have seen 140,000 South Africans immigrate since the riot. So that's why we are saying to business people, to ordinary South Africans, this is the only country we have. We are a resilient bunch. Yes, we have pulled up to the precipice, but let's pull back. Let's rebuild. Let's rebuild those malls, because that's how we can have both an outsized and oversized impact in terms of jobs and thereby create the long-term resilience that is needed whilst we ensure that we are sustainable in the short term.
Busa has also urged business owners not to take their organizations elsewhere, but to create employment for the youth.
So firstly is to say to Mike Nkuna, who's lost 2 malls, when the insurance money pays, it might be so easy for you to go back to Limpopo and say, let me just consider my retirement. But remember the 3,000 people that are at the Ndofaya Mall and think about them. And some of the levers we want to pull simply say, as patriots, using our voice loudly and judiciously, imagine when we can rebuild within a year. For 60% of the 60.1 million South Africans are 35 years and younger. And yet unemployment to them is 74.9%. Totally, we're talking about 11.9 million people that are not employed. But young people in particular, 10 million, are not in employment, education, or training. 6 million young people don't know their fathers. Only 30% of households have both a mother and a father. So I think let's be kinder on young people, because they are going to spend their time heavily invested in the future, where they are going to really be wanting to do something in finding their own usefulness. I think we need to take a risk as business in young people, because there's a problem, Braden, when your own employees cannot afford the goods and services that you provide. And the future is young and the future is female. There is no doubt about that, because 51% of the population is female.